Good morning. So we are back in, and I wanted to kind of tweak things up a little bit as I kind of fly around parts of Europe now, kind of enjoying some of the different countries and different sceneries that, well, I've never really been around to fly and enjoy and do some different stuff. So the first part of this is previously we landed at Sion in this valley. I'm probably butchering how you're supposed to say that. This is not an airport that the A320 would typically land at, but I landed here for giggles, and I'm going to take off from here, I hope. We'll see if I can actually fly this plane, because this was a pretty big mountain here. And then we're going to head south over the Alps, down to Monaco area, and we are going to land right here out over the water. So this should be kind of fun. I've set it up to be kind of near sunrise, as you can see here by the light starting to come in. Well, I had it set there. This thing keeps wanting to change the time that I've set it to, which is getting very annoying. So sunrise is literally happening. Sky should be bright, and by the time I get down here, it should be up in the sky, which gives me two problems. One, the sun's going to be right in my face and reflecting off the water, which should be interesting. This is the only ILS approach I could find. I would have done Tutu otherwise, but that's also going to be part of the fun here. For some reason, my controller went to sleep. And then for flight conditions now, I'm going to be utilizing live weather. So I don't know what it's going to be like out there. We're going to see what we get. And hopefully we can see things. But I think this should be kind of fun, kind of interesting. I've switched over to Air Italy's livery. I don't know if there was an Air Italia or something like that that I could use as well. But this was the first one scrolling through the many liveries that said Italy on it. So we're going to head out of Switzerland down to Italy. Ooh, that is pretty in the valley. Absolute gorgeous morning. Beautiful shot of the side of a hangar there. All right. Not much in ground services here, but it looks like I actually got some space. Let's go ready to fly. Batteries on. Oops, turn the APU off. $10,000. Are you kidding me? I don't think that's going to get me up over. Kind of a cool livery here. Alright, so this is going to be interesting because there are some big peaks there that I need to go kind of up and around. So that's why I'm a little worried that it wants me to climb to 10,000 instead of getting up and out of this valley. I also highly doubt that they would be taking a lot of serious planes out since there's all these homes and condos and everything else parked right here. But let's get this sucker powered on. And moving. Alright, so while we are booting up, let's extend the landing lights. Let's get the nav lights on. Beacon, strobe. Yeah, we don't need runway 3. Okay, starters up. We had a tight squeeze down there. Alright, let's do it to it. I don't need my runway turn lights on. I don't need my landing lights on yet. We're good on all that. Let's extend flaps 1. I think I have a decent amount of runway, but I'm actually going to go flaps 2 on this takeoff. Let's try to taxi here from within. So if I can keep this plane parked on the end. And those roads look epic up there. Alright, I think we're about as good as we're going to get on that. Not centered, but I can do that in a second. Let's do our run up. Give everything a chance to go to full. I'm going to wait for my RPMs, everything to pick up more. Got it. Now we're going to roll. I'm on flaps 2. We're barely getting airspeed alive. Ooh, windy. This is going to be a very close call. Well, we should make it just fine, though. Definitely a 100% commitment to takeoff, though. Okay, ease back. We are airborne. It wants me to turn, but I just cannot. I'm going to lower the first set of flaps. I'm just going to go slow at the moment because I want to build up some airspeed. Cut the second flap so I'm not as restricted. Okay, I'm fighting the auto throttle again right now. Screw you, auto throttle. That's good. That's better than where I was going. Okay, we're climbing a bit steep here. Let's bring the nose down a little bit because we're not going to make it over anything. We're starting to slow down too much. There's my speed coming back. We have come up a decent altitude, so we're not in the valley, but we are still not quite where we need to be. 10,000, I guess, gets me over the base of these mountains, but I am starting to deviate from my course a little bit simply because of the height here, and I'm going to go up a little more now. Okay. Now now we should be able to maintain more thrust. I'm up out of there. I'm not as worried about my speed or my lift, so I just brought in flaps all the way. I might have been able to do that earlier to keep my speed up, but I felt that keeping my flaps out right there at that lower level just gave me enough opportunity to maintain better lift. Now we're able to really climb out a bit steeper. Although the autopilot did start to screw with my trim. Still kind of is screwing with my trim. What is it doing? Okay, I don't need you telling me what to do, airplane. I'm telling you what to do at the moment. Alright, but we are good enough. I'm going to turn autopilot on. I'm going to engage auto throttle, and I'm going to go down here on the lever into auto throttle mode. I retract. Oops, I forgot to turn on my takeoff lights. That's alright. Which wings lights? I don't know what the wing lights do. I thought that was the de-icing light, but I can't see anything on there. Alright, whatever. We'll leave the wing light off. Okay, we are airborne and good to go. Though why this thing has stopped at my low altitude here, I'm very concerned about. Okay, I need you to go up. Must not have caught my setting. Now we're going up again. Alright, so that was a pretty good takeoff. I had a couple autopilot issues. I did linger on really the flaps a bit longer than necessary, I think. But that ultimately, in my opinion, kind of helped. Just because I was able to better maintain a stable lift overall. It didn't really jerk or fly or shoot up or down. It was much smoother. So overall, I think that was a good idea, especially in that valley and some of the crosswinds that were going on. But now we're on our way to flight level 200 to head down to our destination. So we should be there in about 20-30 minutes. Enjoy the scenery. All right, well, jumping back in there, that was a little crazy. That was kind of fun to see the cloud cover roll in as I came out of Switzerland and entered Italy. Couldn't really see through it. On my descent down, for some reason, the plane just parked at like 17,000 and would not continue descending, so I had to just tell it descend to get down to the 13,000 feet that they told me to. At which point I was able to switch it back over to the normal autopilot mode, and things kind of seemed to get back to working properly. Love seeing some of these high villages. Anyway, and then it told me to come down here to 9,200 feet, which I don't know. I seem to be a little close to the tops of some of those mountains, so I do not believe that I would be this low yet, and certainly not where I was back there. That was really cool coming down through the clouds. Couldn't really see anything, and then could just barely make out the tops of the Alps as I started descending, and then came through pretty quickly and way close to some of these mountains, which is not right. I can guarantee that. I think now I would start getting down to this altitude, but not back where I was. I was way too close to the tops of those mountains, and it's just not safe for me to be down that low, but that's what the autopilot did, so I think they would have stepped me a little more. Anyway, it's beautiful here seeing these villages, and from this altitude, those rivers look incredible. A bunch of the deltas, floodplains, dried up right now in summer, winter, whatever. I think we're coming into summer over there. No, northern hemisphere. Yeah, southern. Mediterranean. I know geography. There's some botched textures, unfortunately, but on the whole, I must say this is a very good-looking place. I think this where Tokenkiwi is where the airport is. This, I think, is a different airport. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that is my airport. No. Yeah, this one may be me. Anyway, we've slowed down. You can see my angle of attack has come up just because this autopilot's doing some screwy stuff here, but on the whole, we're doing pretty good. It's got me pitched up decently. I'm pretty close to the point where I would start turning off the autopilot and start kicking on the flaps. See, it's finally starting to bring my nose down a bit. I'm going to kick flaps onto the first level. I'm running near the upper echelon of speed for that, but that's going to bring my nose back down. So I'm flying at a slightly better level. As we get ready for my approach, I'm going to come up here, extend my landing lights. I don't need the runway turn line. I'm going to kick on my wing lights for no reason. Tell people no smoking and turn your buckle in. I think at this point, actually, I probably would have my landing lights on, so let's kick those on. There they are down there. No gear yet. We'll wait a bit before we kick that out. We're probably about another 15-20 minutes out, just because now we've slowed down so much. I still feel like I'm a bit low for this area, but honestly, I'm not 100% sure. But I must say, the other really cool thing about flying over those Alps was, I don't know if you saw it, you probably should have, but the amount of turbulence and air that was hammering the plane as I flew. Ooh, cloud covers descended. Sweet. Just the sheer amount of turbulence that was hitting the plane there was just insane. Really choppy and bumpy on the way down. Now, I am used to landing in pretty much clear weather just because I like seeing the beautiful scenery and all of that, but I must say, this bad weather, cloudy weather, whatever it is really pretty flippin' cool to be flying in right now, I must admit. Yep, you can see the plane bouncing around a little bit. Going a bit too fast for full flaps and all that, so I think as I finish my turn, I'll start doing that, and I'll kick approach on here, because there really isn't going to be much after that, and I'll be on my final leg once I get off this turn. And I'll need to start slowing down a little bit more. So I'll take over from the auto throttle just because I never seem to have good luck with it keeping my speed where I want it to be. This is a whole different experience with all these clouds. And this is kind of what I wanted. This makes more use of the ILS system. Otherwise, you wouldn't really need ILS flying into a lot of the places that I'm flying into simply because it's perfectly clear out. I just enjoy using autopilot and letting it do its thing. With that said, though, that previous flight where I came into the Sealand or whatever that runway I just took off from was, that was a great manual flight. I really enjoyed that a lot. But all right, I'm going to shut up. Let's zip ahead to the completed turn. Well, that was a bit screwy. I was trying to adjust my barometric pressure and ended up screwing the whole system over. And finally, after going on and off standard a couple times, got it to reset so I could get it set correctly because I was afraid my altitude was off since I was at the 29.92 and it was telling me to be at 30.4, which does affect my actual altitude reading on the autopilot system. So I was messed that up a little bit. Also kind of cool to come out here and see the city pop out of the clouds for a minute. And now we're coming around back in. And there's the airport right there. I'm on a good glide slope altitude-wise, but I'm not on a good speed level. So I just need to slow down a little bit more here. That behind the plane. Okay, I can see that thing coming in now. Got landing system on. Put you on landing as well. Nice cruise ship down there. Another little airport there in the middle of the city, which is a little odd. Got quite a few airports right out here. Wow, I am way off course. Must be windy. Okay. I want my speed to drop. Why is my speed not dropping? Okay, I'm taking the flaps up. There we go. Alright, so we're probably a bit too far for the approach system at this point, but we are definitely too far to the right. I believe somewhere over here, I'm supposed to be like over here and then make a hook in, but I don't know if that's going to work. Almost looks like that's another cruise ship out there too. A couple big ones there. I like how they have different types of cruise ships. I believe this might be the city that I flew around in that little plane. Is it? I don't know. No, this isn't. I don't even know where I am. That was Spain, I think, wasn't it? Go me. Alright, so we're back on course. Okay, I'm going to raise the next level flaps. lot of air traffic, geez. It's like 4 different sets of strobes that I can see at certain points. Let's bring that nose back down a little bit. Well, at least I don't have to worry about the sun, being as I'm under this cloud cover. Alright, now we can slow down. Perfect. I'm going to kick on the approach system now. I think I'm a bit too far away for it to catch. I don't know, maybe approach should be on. Maybe next time I'll use the expedite button. I know I've used it before and it just did not seem to work out so well. No. Why am I not picking up localizers or anything? This is not good. Let's get descending here. Shoot. Okay, autopilot's broken. Yeah, look at that. I am so high up. Keep that speed down. This is terrible. I shouldn't be using the speed brakes here in the middle of the air. Okay, we're primed. And we're coming down a little steep. Let's get the throttles up. Too low, too low. Ooh, that's some hard floating to the side there. Ah, my rudder's screwed up. That's why. Why the heck is that thing angling off to the side? Why is my rudder trimmed off to the side? See, now my rudder's fixed. Weird. Well, that explains some of my control issues. Man, this is beautiful with those clouds and the city. Absolutely incredible. It's taking me to the gate I wanted, but I'm still not tuned to ground, so I'd have to manually switch to 1.18.7. That's fine. We're just going to park to my gate, and then we'll do the recap. Ooh, another cool terminal. Odd to see a Southwest livery here on the other side of the planet where they don't fly, but hey. Okay, this is pretty neat. Where's my ground crew? I stopped way early. There we go. Scared it off. Okay. Where's the panel lighting? I forget where everything is in here. What are you mad at? Oh, door. Wow, that's laggy. Holy cow. Stop. Oh my goodness. Whatever. That's good. Alright, so we pulled off a pretty decent landing. Oh my gosh, that lag. I think we did a pretty good job with that. That's probably one of my better landings. I pulled it off from within the cockpit. I flared decently. I didn't have too much of a bounce. I was a little bit fast, but I actually flared properly on that one, and with the crosswind and my rudder being slightly screwy. So I'm very pleased with that overall. Not perfect by any means, but I think that's one of my better landings simply because I managed to stay on target pretty well. I kept my speed better in check, and I actually got to flare on the runway and slow down better. So lessons learned, doing better. Not perfect, but that's what it's all about. So I'm going to be flying with real world weather for a while now, and we're going to make a couple other little hops around Europe as we take a look at things. Maybe head over to Russia, some other neat areas, and maybe we'll start flying the 787 and something else. So overall, enjoyed the flight. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.